All right, you guys have asked, so today we're building a skincare routine for perimenopausal and menopausal skin. This is actually a topic I'm very interested in and something kind of near and dear to my heart because I just turned 40 this year and definitely heading towards that direction. So if you have noticed more dry skin, thin skin, more sensitive skin, or struggling with new onset of hormonal acne and you're in your 40s, 50s, and beyond, this video is made for you. Hi, my name is Dr. Jenny Liu. I'm a board-certified dermatologist and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic that is really much needed, and I'm glad that more people are talking about it, which is just changes with women's health and our skin around this perimenopausal and menopausal period in time. That is really a big transition for a lot of women as we get older. So we're going to talk about the changes that our skin goes through during this period in time and recommended products that I think would be better in supporting your skin health, skin barrier function, and better address your skin concerns. So if that all sounds good to you, I would love it if you can give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that notification button and subscribe to my channel. All right, let's talk about perimenopause and menopause. I'm just glad that people are paying more attention to it. There's more education and discussion around this topic. And it's definitely something that is a big part of women's life, this transition. There's so many things happening, not just with our health in general, but with our skin, our hair, our even mental and physical well-being. And I feel like even in medical school, it was like a topic that we learned, but it's like it just feels like you're in your 20s and 30s, all of a sudden you hit menopause, which we know is not true. Now, certainly I'm not a gynecologist, I'm not a women's health expert, so I don't know all the physiology, all the changes that's happening with our body, but I can tell you what I see in clinic every day, women coming in their 40s, 50s, and 60s complaining of skin and hair changes is definitely related to the hormonal shifts that is happening with our body as we transition into this period in time. You know, menopause is defined where you really don't have your period for a year, and perimenopause can happen even like 10 years prior. So for some women, that could even mean in their late 30s and 40s. And definitely, I sometimes feel like I'm starting in that period of perimenopause where, I feel things a little bit more. The definition is very hard because a lot of times it's you don't rely on lab values because your hormones are changing. The numbers aren't always predictive, but the symptoms can be very real, especially if they're regular. And so, what we definitely see in perimenopause and for sure menopause is that there is this gradual decline in estrogen and changes with your hormones that is pretty much responsible for all the symptoms that we are experiencing as we age. So, not just skin changes, hair changes, but also mental well being, changes in our body composition, and our mood. And so, with skin, I can tell you is that the gradual decrease in estrogen plays a huge role in the way basically our skin feels and looks. And people have even shown, studies have shown that we can lose up to 30% of our collagen in the first 5 years of menopause. I mean, that's a lot. We definitely gradually lose collagen over time, but within that first 5 years, that's 30% that we'll never be able to gain back. Along the same time, the skin, because of the collagen loss, is becoming thinner, more dry, and more prone to fine lines, wrinkles, and discoloration. You have less sebum production, which is also why we feel more dry, more flaky, maybe more sensitive. And that leads to a weakened skin barrier overall that makes us maybe taking longer to heal. And again, kind of similarly, the appearance of fine lines or wrinkles. And also for some women who are a little bit more sensitive, there is that hormonal acne component that some women struggle with kind of throughout their lifetime, but could also be very much new onset. It's actually very interesting that I actually have a handful of patients coming to see me in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, even after menopause, who are saying, hey, I'm breaking out, these deep pimples on my jawline. I've never had acne before, but now I'm suddenly experiencing it. And that is kind of the hormonal changes that our body is going through kind of around that perimenopause and menopause phase. So basically, to summarize, what your skin will experience is more dryness, maybe even feel thinner, definitely more pronounced wrinkles and fine lines. We're also going to lose that structural component in our skin, that collagen. So there's going to be more sagging, less elasticity, which also will contribute to the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Some women may even struggle with hyperpigmentation, uneven skin tone, and also hormonal acne. That could be flaring or new onset of hormonal acne. So really, there should be a shift with the products that we use and how we care for our skin, and really this period in time that is so crucial in a woman's life. So the goal I see of like perimenopausal and menopausal is very much the same, that the goal is really number one is to restore hydration and strengthen our skin barrier, because that is what's going to take a hit first, and then add on ingredients that can help to support collagen production, improve elasticity, brighten and smooth the skin, because texture will be dulled since skin turnover will be slowed down. And then obviously, if you are one who struggle with hormonal acne, kind of talk about incorporating products or even prescription treatments to really tackle those concerns. So that's what we're going to do today. In a little bit, I'm going to actually walk you through an AM and PM routine that I think is very much good one to incorporate if you are struggling and you're kind of in this perimenopausal or menopausal phase. But also, I want to kind of set you guys up with the mindset of how to approach skincare routine if you are in your 40s, 50s, and beyond, so that way you can help achieve your goals. Because the products I recommend are the ones that I really like, but at the end of the day, you got to find one that work well for you and also work for your budget. So what that basically means, less is more and using more gentle ingredients. And also not to overlook the fact that by just switching up your moisturizer, especially at night, to something that's creamy, more supportive, more nourishing, can be very helpful. And then lastly, look for lines from brands that are specially formulated for perimenopausal and menopausal skin. So 3 I can think of off the bat that I recommend regularly. Number 1 is Vichy Neovadio line, with proprietary blend of ingredients and clinically tested specifically in perimenopausal and menopausal women. 2 is number 7. They have a menopausal skincare line that's formulated for menopausal women and co-formulated with dermatologists. And lastly, one brand is called Emapel. This is a line that's really helping to address that estrogen deficient skin, but doesn't actually have inherent estrogen hormones. So those are 3 lines that I think if you're interested looking for like menopausal specific lines, I recommend trying. Lastly, before we dive into the routine, I just want to mention topical estrogen creams. Now, obviously, gynecologists have been prescribing this for years to help with vaginal symptoms, because our vagina, the mucosa gets dry. There's a lot of symptoms associated with that during perimenopause and menopause. So estrogen creams applied topically to the vaginal area has been shown to help with those symptoms. And I've actually had a handful of gynecologist friends that will put the same cream on their face and swear by it. In the sense, it helps with the skin hydration, boosting elasticity, and reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So they not only recommend it to their patients to use on the vagina, but also on their facial skin, but also use it on themselves. The only feedback I've had from some of my guy friends is that the formulation, at least the vaginal formulation, can be pore clogging because of just the texture. Now, I also do have a handful of dermatology colleagues that will prescribe the compounded form or have it and use it on their own, or prescribe it for patients. And the formulation is a little bit more elegant, less likely to clog pores. And some of my derm friends swear by it for their patients and also use it on themselves and have noted great improvement in skin health, skin barrier health, hydration, and elasticity. In theory, there is a potential that it could worsen melasma, because we know a big part of melasma is driven by hormones. And if you're putting topical estrogen, could it worsen melasma? Maybe. But I have yet to even have a lot of derm colleagues tell me that this is happening with their patients from clinical use. We don't have a lot of studies on this, first of all. So it's one of those things where I think we need more studies on the benefits of topical estrogen for facial skin, but certainly from anecdotal and small studies, it has been shown to be helpful. May worsen melasma, it may not. So if this is something that you're interested in, I think it's really worth exploring. Talk to your dermatologist, because it's a prescription compounded cream anyway. So, but that is one thing that I think can be helpful, and you would use it like a moisturizer. It's certainly not a replacement for tretinoin, but it can work well in conjunction with the other things you apply on your skin to help address the concerns of fine lines, wrinkles, loss of elasticity, and skin barrier, sensitivity, and helping to restore that skin barrier and skin health component. All right, so with that, let's start off with an AM PM routine. Again, the whole goal is to focus on restoring skin barrier health and then helping to address the signs of aging, like fine lines, helping with firmness, and maybe helping with uneven skin tone, uneven texture. So starting off with AM, cleansing. Again, skip this step if you're super dry, but otherwise using a gentle cleanser can be really helpful, especially since I'm a big proponent of using a really rich cream at night especially during this perimenopausal, menopausal period because our skin tends to get more dry. So using a richer moisturizer at night can better support our skin restoration and rejuvenation as we sleep. So I'm all for like a gentle cleanser in the morning. Here I'm going to mention kind of the same ones. You really don't need to go fancy, but same ones I've mentioned before for sensitive skin. For example, La Roche-Posay, their 2-layering hydrating cleanser that helps to remove kind of buildup and sebum that our skin have accumulated overnight, but without stripping your skin barrier. It's creamy. It's going to cleanse well, but it's not going to make your skin feel really tight and irritated. It contains ceramide 3, glycerin, niacinamide, and La Roche-Posay thermal spring water. Another one that I mentioned before that I'll mention again, Vana Cream Gentle Facial Cleanser. This is a great one if you have sensitive skin, if you have dry skin, rosacea prone skin, or just to use in general because it gives a really nice cleanse. Does not lather nicely, but again, will not make you feel like you're stripping your skin after using it. Next, moving on to serums, which can be a great way to help boost skin elasticity, radiance, and help address the concerns of fine lines, wrinkles, and skin aging. The first one is from Vichy, their Neovadio Meno 5 by serum. I hope I'm saying that right. But this is a dual phase serum that is specifically formulated for perimenopausal, menopausal skin that helps to improve skin density, firmness, hydration, and basically all the things that's happening to our skin due to loss of estrogen. It's a lightweight but still nourishing serum. So it kind of has this blend of oil and water phase, so it helps to nourish but does not feel heavy or have that greasy and shiny look. Ingredient-wise, it has proxylane, which is derived from sugar that is unique to L'Oreal line of products. So you can find this in, I believe, few La Roche-Posay brands, but it's really well known in SkinCeuticals and now in Neovadio. But it basically helps to reduce glycation and helps to basically boost skin firmness and improve the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, as well as plant-derived extracts along with vitamin B3, so niacinamide, vitamin C, and vitamin E to prevent oxidative damage on skin. And what I really love is omega-6 and 9. So these are lipids that are really essential for our skin barrier health, but because with age, we're losing on that. So having that in the skincare can really help to reduce that dryness and better kind of support our skin barrier restoration, along with Vichy volcanic water that we know helps to strengthen the skin barrier function in general. So that can be a great serum to use in the morning or even twice a day to better support our skin and help address those concerns I mentioned before. Another serum that you can consider is number 7, Menopause Skin Instant Radiance Serum that really helps to improve dullness or dryness, fine lines, and tackle firmness. And it really helps to deliver hydration without feeling heavy or greasy. And it can be used both morning and night. Ingredient-wise, contains ceramides, nourishing lipids that really helps restore the skin barrier function, along with hyaluronic acid that improves hydration, plump the skin, and temporarily reduce the appearance of fine lines or wrinkles, along with soy isoflavonoids. So this is really helpful because we know soy kind of is that plant phytoestrogen, so it helps in many ways to support our skin barrier health when it's kind of estrogen deplete, if that makes sense, along with matrixyl 3000 plus. So this is the peptide that really has been shown to help support collagen and boost collagen production. So it kind of is basically helping with supporting collagen at the same time improving skin hydration and skin barrier health. Next is a moisturizer. So this is where I recommend using more creamier, richer formulations, things like that's going to better support your skin but not feel greasy or heavy. If you're not like a thick cream person in the morning, then definitely consider one at night. But one that you can use both morning and night is from SkinCeuticals, their Triple Lipid Restore 242 cream. This is a creamy but yet not heavy or greasy moisturizer, and the 242 really kind of stands for the ratio of lipids that's specifically formulated for mature skin. So it has a right ratio of ceramides to cholesterol and fatty acids that really helps to better support our skin barrier, especially with aging. So that is what the 242 stands for. This is a great one because aside from just mature skin, it's actually been shown to reduce that retinization period. So that period where our skin freaks out when we first start a topical retinoid because of this right ratio of lipids. So that way it actually reduces the retinization period by a week in their clinical studies. But this is a really nice one. It's creamy and nourishing, but not heavy. I particularly like it for the evening, but definitely if you are really dry and looking for something that's even like suitable to use in the morning, this would be a really good one. Aside from that, lipid ratio also contains vitamin E. So this is just a really nice one. One thing to just be careful is it does contain a little bit of fragrance, essential oil. So if you're super sensitive to that, maybe may not be the best fit for you. But otherwise, I love recommending this. This is actually one of my mom's favorite moisturizers. So I get this every year as a holiday gift for her. But yeah, this is definitely something I highly recommend if you have more mature skin, wanting just a good luxe moisturizer to use at night and morning. But if you really like to simplify your routines, don't wanting something that helps with nourishing your skin, but maybe formulate it with a SPF, then the number 7 Menopause Skin Protect and Hydrate Day Cream with SPF of 30 is great because this is nourishing but not heavy, helps to hydrate and support your skin barrier, but at the same time also just contains that adequate SPF 30 that is great for daily use. So you kind of one-stop shop. You're not only helping to tackle hydration and helping to protect your skin, but also helping to address some of those concerns. So ingredient wise, aside from the chemical filters this has, also again contains the Matrixyl 3000 plus peptide that helps to support collagen, along with green tea extract, vitamin C, so great antioxidants to offer additional protection against UV radiation, along with glycerin. So this is where, if you're maybe on a budget or just looking to simplify your routine, this would be a great moisturizer and sunscreen in one. It's maybe something to consider in the summertime. And then in the winter, I would definitely recommend using a moisturizer that's more nourishing and then putting additional SPF on top, especially if you're dry and especially if you live in a colder and drier climate. And then of course, the last step is we cannot forget our sunscreen. Unless you're wearing that number 7 moisturizing sunscreen one, here's some few additional sunscreen that I recommend on top of your moisturizer. The first one is from Isden, the Erythrophotana Actinica SPF 50 plus. So Isden is a Spanish brand. They make elegant sunscreens, and this one is really popular amongst dermatologists because not only is it a pure mineral filter, great for anyone with dry and sensitive skin, it's lightweight and elegant, fluid-like, but does not leave a white cast. I believe it's also water resistant, but it's got high SPF protection, SPF 50, but also has this unique DNA repair zone that is unique to Isden. So it helps to repair DNA damage that has basically happened or accumulate in your skin. So not only is it protecting your skin, but can actually reverse some of that damage that's happening to your skin. And I have some dermatology colleagues that swear that when their patients are wearing this regularly, the amount of sun damage, so AKA we call it actinic keratosis, which is actually, sometimes we even call it precancerous spots, actually goes down. So it's a great way to not only protect your skin, but also reverse some of the actual sun damage happening to your skin. But overall, it's just a really nice, elegant mineral sunscreen. It doesn't cause irritation, doesn't burn or sting. So just a really nice, elegant sunscreen for anyone, especially if you are more sensitive and also looking for one that won't irritate your skin barrier, but also help to reverse some of that sun damage. Another great option I really love is a tinted mineral sunscreen. Great, especially if you struggle with hyperpigmentation. And one that I recommend is some Skin Color Unforgettable Total Face Protection Shield Flex SPF 50. So this is 100% mineral sunscreen containing zinc oxide, but it's tinted. And what's really cool is that the color will kind of basically blend into your skin tone once you let it absorb. So it really leaves no white cast. And I believe it's also water resistant, I think up to 40 or 50 minutes. But this is a great one because in addition to the tint that blocks against visible light that contributes to hyperpigmentation. So if you struggle with melasma or hyperpigmentation, this is a must. It also contains niacinamide that we know helps to support our skin barrier, helps to brighten dull complexion, along with bisbolol, which is derived from chamomile that's soothing and calming. And I do feel like the tint is kind of like a medium coverage. It's almost like a light tinted moisturizer or a light foundation. So what I will even do in the summertime is if I want some coverage but don't want to feel like I'm wearing that full face foundation, is I will go in with a first pass non-tinted sunscreen, and then I will layer this on top of that to provide some additional protection but also pigment and coverage. So this is a great one if you're looking for like a light medium coverage that's tinted but is still very elegant, not heavy, but offering great protection at the same time. All right, now moving on to the evening routine. The first step is cleansing for sure. Even if you don't use a cleanse in the morning, it is very important for us to remove everything effectively and thoroughly at night because that debris from makeup, sunscreen, what have you, from the pollutants in the environment will just build up on our skin, not only clog more pores but contribute to our skin barrier breakdown and more inflammation that we just do not need, especially around perimenopause and menopausal period in time. So, if you don't wear a lot of things and if you find a cleanser that effectively removes everything, then don't double cleanse. But because I wear makeup and a lot of sunscreen and reapply sunscreen, I'm a big proponent of double cleansing. I love oils, I love balms, but even micellar water would be really good. Like the Bioderma Sensibio H2O micellar water, the really popular one, that's very gentle yet effective at removing everything without kind of causing more irritation on your skin. So use something that you like, but otherwise, just pick a cleanser that you use. If you do double cleanse, after using that first step, whether it's micellar water, cleansing oil, cleansing balm, then I would say your second step can just be the same thing that you use in the morning. So the one from Mana Cream or the same one from La Roche-Posay. Now, if you do struggle with acne like me, you can certainly do, and the second step is incorporate like an acne cleanser. I am a big fan of benzoyl peroxide. At night, what I like to do is either use CeraVe or Cetaphil. Their benzoyl peroxide cleanser is my second step, and I kind of mostly focus on areas that tend to break out. So on my nose, on my chin, and leave that on for a few minutes and rinse off. So you could do that nightly or a few times a week in replace of your regular cleanser if you are one who struggle with kind of a little bit of that hormonal acne around perimenopause and menopause. Now moving on to treatments that are kind of more geared towards fine lines, wrinkles, and also exfoliation. I like to reserve kind of more anti-aging products at night, and I've always been like that regardless of age because that's just what I find it to make sense for myself and for my patients, but do what works best for you. There are really no rules. The one thing that you just have to keep in mind is of all the products mentioned, I think see how it goes for your skin before you layer. As we get older, like I said, we may not be able to tolerate layering products, especially if they have like more actives in them. So see how you do. You may want to maybe either space them out into morning and evening routine if you want to try different products or use different products or say alternate. But these are just kind of more routine for thought, if you will. And if you can tolerate layering and it works well for you, by all means, go for it. But the morning serums are meant for morning, not that they can't be used twice a day, but the evening, the ones I'm going to suggest are a little different and more kind of geared towards anti-aging, fine lines, and uneven skin texture and skin tone. So with that, the first one is the Menopause Serum. This is the nighttime routine where it helps you really restore your skin barrier, put it in repair mode to help improve fine lines, wrinkles, and elasticity. So this is very unique. This is not a hormone-based product, but it really has ingredients that's supposed to emulate basically estrogen deficient skin, and it features what they call the MEP technology. So MEP technology that really is supposed to kind of mimic the estrogen effect on skin, but again, without hormones, and really helps to restore hydration, improve firmness, and enhance radiance. So this is a really nice serum, and I have few derm colleagues that swear by it and love it. Certainly a little bit more on the expensive side, but for them, it's really worth every dollar, every penny, which is why I'm recommending it too. So this is a patented non-hormonal ingredient that really activates estrogen receptors on the skin to improve hydration, firmness, and support collagen, along with niacinamide that we know is great, just all around ingredient, and peptides to support collagen building. So this is a great one that I think, especially for its price, would go a long way in the evening. Okay, next let's add in a gentle exfoliant. Exfoliation in general for most people should only be done, maybe 2 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week at most. Especially as we kind of get older and more mature, our skin gets more sensitive. I love that skin cycling trend. I mean, you figure out a routine that works for you, but most of us, because we're using more products besides an exfoliant, should not be using an exfoliant every single day, unless that's the only thing you're using. Now, the other thing I forgot to mention is that Menopause Serum, you can definitely use it with a topical retinoid if you have one, as long as you don't get irritated. And certainly, if you're starting off and you're sensitive, less is more, gradually build on top of your routine, especially with new products. But this exfoliant, you can certainly alternate with the Menopause Serum every other night, if that works well for you. And the product I'm recommending is the Biossance Squalane 10% Lactic Acid Resurfacing Serum. I love this one. It's very gentle. Lactic acid or even polyhydroxy acid would be the acid of choice if you're new and you have sensitive skin, especially around the sensitive period in our time as menopause, perimenopause period. But certainly if you've been using glycolic acid and it's been working well for you, by all means go for it. This is kind of more of an introduction for someone who's new or maybe struggling with skincare routine and products around this perimenopause and menopause period. Now, this serum is great because it's got 10% vegan lactic acid derived from sugarcane. We know that lactic acid is a really gentle exfoliant that over time not only helps to improve skin turnover, dullness, hyperpigmentation, but also actually can stimulate ceramides and hyaluronic acid production. So it's just a great one, less irritating. So this is one I would recommend using a few times a week as your nighttime treatment. On the nights you're using it, I would recommend this would be the only thing you use aside from like cleansing and moisturizer. But yeah, 10% vegan lactic acid along with clover, which is a great antioxidant, and then sugarcane derived squalane that we know helps to support the skin barrier. It's a lightweight serum, hydrating but not heavy or greasy. All right, moving on to moisturizer, which I think is really a non-negotiable part, just like sunscreen, especially as we get older. I mean, moisturizers are just a cornerstone of skincare, but especially for perimenopausal, menopausal skin. Like if you don't care for the serums, that's okay, but moisturizer is so important in keeping our skin healthy, which is one of the main reasons why we lose kind of that barrier function, leading to appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, etc. So the moisturizer is going to be so important in so many regards, you know. And so this is where I've given you guys a few selections. Again, just depends on your budget, your goals, and your concerns, and your skin type too. The first one is Olay Regenerist Retinol 24 and Peptide. This is a great moisturizer with retinol to help tackle the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and skin aging, not just for perimenopausal, menopausal skin, but just in general, especially if you are a beginner, because it's got a nice, gentle formula, but still works well. It's nourishing, but not heavy. I would say it's more suitable for maybe combination, slightly oily skin. Like for me, who have more dry skin, especially in the wintertime, if I put this on, I actually will put on a thicker moisturizer. Otherwise, I wake up feeling a little bit more dry and tight. But overall, it's a really gentle formula, so great for those who are like perimenopause, menopause, looking for a gentle retinol that maybe you can even layer on top of those serums that I mentioned, or just use alone. But if you feel that your skin feels a little more dry, then by all means put on a thicker moisturizer afterwards, and totally okay to do that as long as it doesn't have like additional actives like retinols, so that way you're not doubling up on the actives. So you could certainly even layer on a Vincyclofate, or say like CeraVe or Vanicream, their thicker cream on top of this if you need to. But it's a wonderful product, recommended for anyone looking for a gentle retinol to help tackle some mild fine lines, wrinkles, and skin loss of skin elasticity. Ingredient-wise, it's got retinol complex along with amino peptide that is derived from matrixyl, works great at supporting and stimulating collagen, along with niacinamide that we know helps to boost radiance, help to support skin barrier health, and so just a really great ingredient all around. So wonderful formula. Highly recommended to anyone looking for a good starter retinol for addressing the concerns of skin aging. Now, if you're looking for a richer cream, or say you actually use a different retinol serum or even prescription tretinoin and tolerate it well, but just want something a little extra, then check out Vichy Novadio Night Compensating Complex. This is going to be a more nourishing cream, so definitely more ideal for those that are on the drier side, looking for something that can help to support skin barrier, that is going to maybe even improve and boost the tolerability of your other retinoids without feeling like it's super heavy or greasy. So this is again formulated for menopausal skin, helps to replenish lost lipids and improve skin density, skin thickness, and really does what it's meant, what a moisturizer is supposed to do. So helps to really restore skin health overnight as you were sleeping. Ingredient wise, it's similar to the serum in the sense it has proxylane along with glycerin hyaluronic acid and HEPS, which is like a unique formulation to L'Oreal. It's a gentle exfoliant, but it's not going to cause irritation. So I really love it for the ingredients, but also for the creaminess and the richness, and the fact that it doesn't have actives that's going to irritate your skin, but at the same time, actives like proxylane that works synergistically with a retinol or tretinoin to improve the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and skin aging. Okay, lastly, I just want to mention a few things for hormonal acne. I'll be honest with you, for women that struggle with hormonal acne, around perimenopause and menopause, the best thing, because they tend to be deep, is oral spironolactone that is prescription. This is one I actually prescribe a ton to my perimenopausal and menopausal women who are in their 40s and beyond. It's going to work the best. But say if you are not able to take oral prescription medication or not interested or can't get in to see a dermatologist, then treating hormonal acne, there are a few options. Treating hormonal acne is the same as treating regular acne. It's just that hormonal acne tends to be a little bit more frustrating because they tend to be deeper. So this is where incorporating effective ingredients over the counter, like for example, what I do, using a benzoyl peroxide cleanser that we know works well, but is more gentle than spot treatment. You can certainly go with spot treatment, but they tend to be more irritating, especially since our skin barrier aren't the healthiest as we transition, right, with all these hormonal changes. Adapalene can be a great option as well. If you're going to incorporate adapalene because it's a topical retinoid, then you want to make sure you remove all the other retinoids from your routine and you want to go slow, go gradual, maybe start off only 2 to 3 times a week and then add an additional night per week as tolerated. Using prescription or over-the-counter azelaic acid can be helpful. Prescription tends to be more effective, but over the counter 10% can help with inflammation, can help with soothing. And then again, salicylic acid as well, and sulfur. These are all great ingredients. Cleansers are going to be a little bit better tolerated, but you can also kind of work your way up and see what you maybe work your way up from a cleanser to spot treatment. So this is where you might have to test out a few products, and I'll make sure to link some videos of just in general acne treatments that are over the counter with these active ingredients that I like. But at the end of the day, because our skin barrier is really compromised, you really want to kind of go low and go slow and make sure you limit the number of products. But as far as like over the counter treatment wise for acne, benzoyl peroxide and adapalene are still kind of the holy grail dynamic duo. And then everything else kind of is more kind of icing on top. But again, less is more. Keep your skin barrier healthy first and then add in these ingredients. And if you do get irritated, definitely back off. Perimenopause and menopause, because our skin barrier is so finicky to begin with, you just really want to be mindful because the last thing you want to do is irritate your skin barrier that can lead to more dryness, maybe even perioral dermatitis, a flare up of your acne, and then more accentuation of your fine lines and wrinkles. So just less is more, go slow, and at the end of the day, if things are not working, please see your dermatologist because oral spironolactone is still going to be the most effective and overall low risk as long as you understand fully the risks and benefits. But that is one of my favorite medications to prescribe for a lot of my adult women, regardless of age, who are struggling with that hormonal acne component. All right, guys, so that is my rundown for a little discussion on what's happening with our skin, perimenopause and menopause, as well as a routine and specific line of products designed for peri and menopausal skin. Let me know if you found this video helpful. What other routines would you like me to make next? Let me know in the comments below. And then also, if you are kind of going through this perimenopause and menopause period in time, what products are you using that I haven't mentioned today that I really should be checking out myself or recommending to my patients? Please let me know in the comments below. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.